Hi guys, it's Michelle, and today's video is going to be yet another TikTok conspiracy theories video for you guys. You know, I am addicted to TikTok. It's actually pretty bad. I love it so much. It actually should probably be illegal. Not to be dramatic, but all I do is go on TikTok. But you guys tag me in so many amazing different TikTok conspiracy theories, so without further ado, let's get into the TikToks. This first TikTok I want to talk about has to do with the New Orleans vampires. I feel like we've been talking about this for a bit, and it could just be because I've been watching the Vampire Diaries and the originals and legacies, but nonetheless, all of a sudden I do feel like they're popping all up on TikTok, and everyone is talking about how New Orleans might actually have real vampires. And there's low-key kind of a lot of proof.
The time I met a vampire. I'm a rideshare driver in New Orleans. So, of course, I encounter all types of people from all walks of life. One particular ride was very interesting. Now, this was a couple of years ago when this occurred. Riding, pick up this passenger, and I remember our conversation. And the craziest thing is I can remember her voice. I can, and even as I'm telling you this, I can hear her voice in my head. And I can even picture like this part of her face around her mouth, her lips. I can see them moving as she's talking to me. And I remember her hand being on my shoulder, and I remember what it felt like when she touched me. But a lot of other stuff, it's like was just completely erased. So I pick her up, and I do know that we were having conversation. I talked to many of my passengers, and she is telling me I have really great energy. So I told her thank you. You know, she asked me some things about myself, you know, nothing too private, nothing with too many details. So, you know, I just kind of gave her some general info. And I remember her telling me that she wasn't from here. That I do remember. And then she proceeds to tell me how much she loved New Orleans, how much she loved being there, living there, etc., etc. I do recall asking her where she was from originally, and all she told me was that she was from very far away. And it's funny again because I'm hearing her voice in my head as this is weird. And I've never shared this story with anybody, so TikTok, you're getting it first. Touched my shoulder at one point, and this is where things got really strange. She touched my shoulder, and I felt like I just froze. And even as I'm talking to you right now, I can distinctly remember that feeling of feeling frozen. My hands were on the wheel because I could see my hands on the wheel. The car wasn't moving. Frozen in that moment, I hear her voice, but not like I'm here talking to you. In my head, I hear her voice telling me, don't be scared, that she's not going to harm me. After that, we're moving again. And I remember kind of turning and looking like that. And she was sitting back in the seat and her hands were on her lap. And I said, what did you do to me? And she just smiled. And she says, I just leached some of your energy. And I said, what? She said, I just leached some of your energy. She said, this is going to sound crazy, but I can assure you it's true. I'm a vampire. She said, but I'm not the type of vampire that you've been taught about in books and movies. She said, those types of vampires exist, but they're very rare these days. I'm a vampire that feeds off of energy, and all I have to do is touch you to get it. She said, New Orleans is a great place for her and her kind, and that there are quite a few members of their tribe is what she called them. I believe when she touched me, she implanted something in my mind, whether you want to call it a memory or a thought or an idea. But she gave me something of herself, probably, to where I can recall this portion of the interaction between us. Maybe she knew that eventually I would share the story with others and therefore maybe make it a little bit more acceptable for them to start, for her and her members to start presenting themselves. I don't know. I don't know why she even chose me. She told me that there are vampires that survive off of good energy. There are vampires that survive off of bad energy. There are vampires that survive off of sexual energy. And there are vampires that survive off of blood. New Orleans is the only place in the world where you can find members of all 4 of those vampire tribes. Don't remember where I dropped her off at. I don't even remember dropping her off. Next thing I remember doing clearly was being in a part of town that I didn't remember how I even got there. And it was like 2 hours later. And I was just in a parking lot. I probably should not even be talking about this.
So the proof of vampires in the city of New Orleans goes back to the 1900s. The first one we're going to talk about is Jacques Saint Germain. He is one of the most famous figures connected to vampire lore of New Orleans. In the early 1900s, Jacques just randomly appeared in New Orleans, and he was quickly well known for his wealth, charm, and he had some strange habits. He was rumored to never eat or drink anything in public besides red wine. So one day, a woman jumped from Jacques' balcony and ran to the police, and she claimed that Jacques tried to attack her. So they went and investigated his home, and basically they allegedly found a bunch of bottles that were a mixture of red wine and human blood. And then Jacques just completely vanished before he was able to be arrested. And that was just that. So a lot of people believe that he was a vampire, but I don't know. Then also, I think this is what people on TikTok have been talking about lately, is the Carter brothers from the 1930s. This is Klaus and Elijah Michelson. It just is. So the Carter brothers were arrested for allegedly kidnapping and draining people of their blood in New Orleans. And these men were set up for execution, and after they were executed, their bodies just completely vanished and nobody can find them. That's suspicious, and a lot of people think that they escaped death by that, or maybe it was like how, when Klaus and Elijah, spoiler alert, die in the originals, they kind of like turn into dust. What if that's what happens? I hate it. I think that this could be true. I need to hear your guys' thoughts on all this vampire lore, because I am here for it. I kind of believe it, but why do I want it to be true? That's bad. Like, that's not normal. It's probably not like cute and fun how it is in the Vampire Diaries, but still. All right, the next TikTok I want to talk about is about Paul Walker. I had never heard this conspiracy theory before I saw this TikTok, and I thought it was interesting. Not sure if it's true, but check it out. The next conspiracy theory that I want to talk about is something that bothers me so intensely, and I simply usually just choose to ignore it because it freaks me out so much. The Grand Canyon and the ancient Egyptian pyramids. So the pyramids are fucking weird. Like, let's talk about that first. I just feel like not enough people talk about the fact that the pyramids in Egypt are perfectly aligned with the Orion's belt, and the calculations, like the size of the pyramid, are exactly the same number, 299,792, which is the same measurement of the speed of light. And I just feel like there's no way that's a coincidence. So I've been thinking about the Egyptian pyramids for quite some time because I don't really know what I think made them. A lot of people have some different conspiracy theories. For one, including aliens. A lot of people think that there's something extraterrestrial going on that created these crazy pyramids because, it has connections into outer space as well. But I don't know if I believe that's true. I definitely don't believe the theory that there were giants. A lot of people think that there were giants that created the pyramids. But like how we found dinosaur bones, we probably would have found some type of proof of this theory. What I think makes the most sense and what sketches me out low-key the most, in ancient Egypt, they had way more technology than we kind of give them credit for. I don't know what happened in between then and now, or then and like the 1800s, that reverted back to having no technology, because obviously in the early days we see that they didn't have like cars, telephones, stuff like that. But how the fuck did they do that without the internet? I can't even do that with the internet. Like, I'm just gonna say it. These people are probably fucking brilliant or had a really cool amount of technology that we don't know about. Like, there's no way that that's a coincidence, that it perfectly lines up with the Orion's belt, that it's the same measurement as the speed of light. Like, what are the fucking odds? Like, actually 1 in a billion. So I don't know. But then I saw this other TikTok about how the Grand Canyon low-key looks like it could have been from ancient Egypt.
Guys, what is going on with this? So we have an Egyptian pharaoh and pyramid, and then we have the Grand Canyon. And I want you to see what I'm seeing. Take a look so you can understand the internet's newest conspiracy theory. So I'm going to try to explain to you why people think this is legit. And it all starts from an article back in 1909 where an archaeologist found a hidden city and a ton of Egyptian artifacts here in the Grand Canyon. So some people thought that was a hoax, but then the hieroglyphics are actually pretty similar between the two, Native American and Egyptian. Like, some of the characters were exactly the same. And some people just don't believe that the Grand Canyon could just appear naturally, that man had to be involved to create something so majestic. There's apparently a whole group of people that believe the US government is hiding a whole lot of stuff in the Grand Canyon from us. Supposedly they're hiding evidence and artifacts and a whole ancient civilization, and that our government doesn't want to open any of these mummy shells because they don't want us to be a cursed region. I don't know. Do y'all think it's an Egyptian shrine? You tell me what you think.
My brain can't even compute what this means, because there are probably so many ancient artifacts that were just destroyed by like water that we'll never be able to see, which sucks. And it makes you wonder if the Grand Canyon was one of them. And I don't know, I kind of think that that could be, I mean, it looks so similar, but let me know your thoughts. All right, the next TikTok we're going to talk about has to do with Dan Schneider. Wouldn't be a conspiracy theory video without Dan Schneider. We always talk about him. He's basically produced all of your favorite Nickelodeon shows, and he was like exposed for being creepy and a bad boss, basically, as we saw and talked about on the Quiet on Set documentary. But nonetheless, I never noticed this until I saw this TikTok, and I don't know how I never clocked it, but in iCarly, they have those freaking stupid little t-shirts that say weird phrases, like the penny tees. How did I not know that he was trying to say some creepy ass shit with these? I mean, I should have guessed it. This one had something called South Frog Spit. Just look it up on Urban Dictionary. It's essentially sexual innuendos that should not be in a children's show, and it's honestly really fucking ridiculous that Dan Schneider put that in television, because this is not only put it on television, but put kids in clothes that were saying that. It's giving me the same vibe as when we all found out that Amanda Bynes in The Amanda Show played Penelope Taint, not Tate. And that's so fucking disturbing. Like, that is just weird as hell. But honestly, it should come at no surprise at this point, but I swear, if you go back and watch your favorite Dan Schneider shows, you will pick up on so much shit that you missed as a kid. I could honestly do a whole fucking video on that if you guys would be interested, because it's dark. All right, speaking of TV shows, I saw this TikTok talking about how Tom and Jerry actually talked about the Illuminati. Maybe had a little nod to it.
Greetings, your tinseliness, imperious leader of Hollywood.
So we've seen this happen a lot. It's been on SpongeBob, it's been on Gravity Falls. There have been so many different things that kind of hint at the idea of the Illuminati as a whole, and I do think that it is interesting to talk about, because again, it's kind of reminding me of when we saw that episode of Fairly Odd Parents that literally talked about Epstein Island pretty much. And I just think it's strange because obviously these are people connected to the elites that would know this shit is real. So it's really fucking creepy to see a date back to Tom and Jerry days. Like, that was a long ass time ago. And again, speaking of the Illuminati, I cannot stop watching TikToks of people, like different celebrities, reacting to other celebrities talking about the Illuminati because it is so uncomfortable. We talked about this video of Kevin Hart telling Kelly Clarkson to like shush when she was talking about the Illuminati.
But I've had people throw millions of dollars in my face to do something I didn't want to do. And what? Just, you've been offered, yeah. Oh, they're in the room.
Yeah, I don't want to.
Yeah.
That was my way of cueing you. Like, it's open dialogue.
Yeah, you want me to keep talking about it?
By all means, we can talk about anything, but
don't do it.
Yeah,
But what drove me wild is this video of Andrew Garfield being like, no, like, don't say anything, because it's just uncomfortable.
Finally, viewers all across the country will get the answer to their most burning question. Are the Illuminati real? And if so, why haven't I been invited? Garfield, where are you? I know you know. I know you know.
I don't know. Do you guys believe that that's real? I think it is. I don't know though, because then I also like listened to Ariana Grande and Kelly Clarkson talk about the Illuminati, and they make such a fun and lighthearted joke of it. But what if that was just to distract us? As much as I'm like, oh, I don't think celebrities are in the Illuminati, I just mean that I don't think they have really much pull at all. I feel like you have to be very high up, very elite, and have a lot of money to have that kind of power to be able to be a part of this secret society. I don't know. That's just my opinion, but let me know your thoughts. All right, the next TikTok I saw actually made so much fucking sense. It's basically the theory that Girl Scout cookies is actually just a cookie company that is using child labor to sell their cookies. And it's kind of true. So Girl Scouts have been selling cookies since 1917, which is crazy. I was a Girl Scout. I feel like a lot of people were. And I just think that this makes so much sense. Basically, you in Girl Scouts are told, okay, go sell these cookies. If you sell, whoever sells the most amount of boxes, like, kind of gets a prize vibe, and then you also get patches. I don't really remember, but either way, I saw this theory talking about how perhaps the Girl Scouts is kind of just like a ruse for the cookie company. I will say that Girl Scouts only sell their cookies once a year, but I truly think that at the end of the day, I'm sure the sales of those cookies pays for more than enough of the like concept of Girl Scouts, like whatever you have to pay for within like being in a Girl Scout troop. And plus, I'm pretty sure you have to pay tuition to be a part of it. I just think that this is crazy, and it also is weird if you think about it. Like, you actually are putting children to work at the end of the day. Like, they're not getting paid for it. They're getting compensation in the form of patches and like a bicycle or something. I don't know. I gotta say, it fucking works though. We for hours would sit outside the grocery stores selling cookies. Like, actually, that is child labor low key. What is that? How is that legal? I don't know. I never thought about it before, but it low key ruined it for me. And also, Walmart literally sells Girl Scout cookies, the exact same cookies. Like, they're nothing special anymore, but they're still fire, I will say. All right, this next theory has to do with the Denver airport. A lot of people have wanted me to talk about this theory for a long time, but this TikTok honestly just freaked me out.
I keep deleting the video about the murals, so I'm really just gonna have to watch my mouth. Basically, there were these murals inside the airport that actually depicted a lot of apocalyptic kind of, let me just show you guys. Like, imagine walking into baggage claim and seeing this, or better yet, this. The weird part is a lot of these murals had children incorporated into them. Mind you, this was made in the 1990s, and it even references things that we're experiencing today. Now, these murals were so controversial for the last about like 8 years. They've been putting them up and taking them down, putting them up and taking them down, but the lore gets better. If you guys don't know about Lucifer, this is going to be who welcomes you to the Denver airport. When I was in Denver this week, I met some locals who were telling me that they actually moved the statue to do some construction underneath the airport. So then I got curious and I really wanted to know more about the crime and stuff that goes on. And y'all, people go missing and then magically turn up. One lady went missing and was dead in her car for 6 weeks. Y'all should really look into the theories about this place.
So I pretty much refuse to go on anywhere through the Denver airport. It's kind of stopped me from going to Colorado before. I'm sure it's fine in the sense of like a lot of people fly in and out of there. I just won't be one of them. Like anytime there's a layover, at the Denver airport, I get a different airplane ticket. Like I will not. I'm scared of it. I've been scared of it for the last 10 years. I'm not just gonna change tomorrow. I don't know. Do you think that it really could be a like source place of the Illuminati? There's definitely something fucking weird going on. I feel like that's non-negotiable. I just don't know if I think that it has to do with the Illuminati, but let me know your thoughts. All right, the next two TikToks are kind of glitch in the Matrix TikToks, and let's talk about the theories behind them.
The way I'm in the middle of doing my makeup right now, and my earring just dropped into my makeup bag that's literally been attached to my ear for like 30-40 minutes, and it fell into my makeup bag, and I was like, that's where my earring fell out. I wonder if the back's not on it, and I pick it up and it literally looks just like this. Like, and that one's on, and this one was on too. This is the first one I put on. Fucking glitch in the Matrix, bro.
So what happened to this girl has literally happened to me before in so many different ways. I feel like there are little glitches in the Matrix that a lot of people would just ignore. I am one of those people because I don't really like getting scared. But even, like, I have a car air freshener, and it's one of those ones from Bath and Body Works that it looks like a cage. Like, it is caged in there, and it's not gonna fall out. My friend dropped the air freshener on the floor of my car, and the little air freshener popped out of it, but the cage remained closed. So what do you mean? And it's not easy to open. Like, you really have to kind of pry that bitch open. That is I don't even like to think about it. She kept being like, Michelle, like, I'm scared, like, what the fuck? And I was like, that's not for me. I don't need to know. I feel like everyone has a story for the glitch in the Matrix, and let me know yours. But then this other TikTok shows this woman, like, playing tennis, but, like, it looks so strange. And someone pointed out a very interesting fact, which is if it was really just attached to a string, then why did she run to get the ball? This makes no fucking sense. It has to be a glitch in the Matrix. To be honest, when I say I believe life is a simulation, I full-heartedly do think that that's true. I don't know how to win this simulation. I don't know what you're supposed to do. I guess, like, just continue living life as is, but it's hard when you know that this is, like, such a prevalent conspiracy theory, because I think it's real. A lot of scientists and philosophers believe in this theory as well, which is kind of creepy, and I don't want to think about it. But duplicate objects is just one thing. Deja vu is another thing that could be explained by life as a simulation. Honestly, the Mandela effect could be explained by life as a simulation, because certain things just change ever so slightly. And, like, those things being changed a lot of the times would go unnoticed. But I don't know. Like, imagine how many things in our regular day-to-day life are changed that we don't even realize. Like, something is just slightly shifted somewhere else. I can't think about this. I need to hear your guys' like thoughts and theories on the glitch in the Matrix theory, and if it's proof that life, it really is a simulation. I want to hear any of your stories as well. Anything similar to like 2 stories that I told, or, you know, these TikToks, because shit like that really freaks me out, because it's so hard to explain to somebody that that wasn't there. The next TikTok I want to talk about is about how they talked about Epstein Island low-key on Disney, and just watch.
I mean, even in the Disney film Pinocchio, it's unbelievable, the pub scene. He talks about bringing the boys to Pleasure Island, and then he starts whispering what happens to the boys, and the fox freaks out. He's like, oh, but, and he goes, no, they don't come back as boys. Watch it.
Oh, Coachman? What's your proposition? Well, how would you blokes like to make some real money? Well, and who do we have to, No, nothing like that. You see, I'm collecting stupid little boys. Stupid little boys? You know, the disobedient ones what play hooky from school. And I takes them to Pleasure Island. Pleasure Island. Pleasure Island? But the law, suppose they... No, there's no risk. They never come back as boys.
What do you mean by that? Because the thing is, okay, like Epstein Island, I feel like obviously this happened in like the 90s, 2000s. Like Jeffrey Epstein hasn't been alive since whenever Disney was invented, obviously. But I think that shit like this goes so far back. Epstein Island has low-key always existed. It just wasn't Jeffrey Epstein's island at first. And it was probably something Illuminati related, and I don't fuck with it. I don't like it. What is that? Please let me know your thoughts, because I just feel like Disney is one of the most prevalent companies literally ever. And I think that if any company is going to have attachments to the Illuminati, it makes sense that it would be Disney. And honestly, they kind of have a lot of stuff that proves that anyway. I actually just did a Dark Side of Disney video, and you can watch it, because that shit's interesting. I don't know, there's some dark shit going on. I do feel like it kind of all makes sense that there are people in the industry who definitely know what's going on and knew what was happening on Epstein Island for years. And that is horrifying. All right, the next theory I want to talk about is this Google Maps theory. This TikTok pissed me off because I think it's true.
Have you ever been on Google Maps and you've missed the turn and then you keep going and it actually ends up being like 3 minutes quicker?
Yes.
So I have a theory, you know, with the anatomic habits and the percentage of one. I'm like, if Google Maps have some sort of deal with the government to increase everyone's car journey by just 1%, there's going to be 1% more of cars going to all the petrol stations, buying more stuff, so then they're paying more VAT, so then I just like, and then paying more petrol, more diesel. And all my friends say they've noticed it now, and even if I know the way home, Google Maps would always send me a slightly longer way.
I put maps on every single time I get in the car.
So do I.
This is true with a Tesla. I hate Elon Musk. I drive his cars. I'm not gonna lie. But regardless, I truly believe Elon Musk makes you take longer routes so that you have to charge your car more often. 100,000%. If you think that Google Maps is bad, you should experience a Tesla map, because it is the dumbest fucking app I have ever experienced. Like, it is so stupid. Anywhere with a Tesla map takes like at least 5 minutes longer. It is never shorter. They never talk about road closures or anything. Oh, the Tesla map, if you know, you know, it screwed you over so many times. But regardless, I do think that this theory makes a lot of sense, because of course it would get a lot of gas cars into gas stations, but it also makes sense because it gets a lot of Teslas into the superchargers as well. And I don't know, I full-heartedly believe it. I think every company is trying to scam us, honestly. All right, the next theory, this doctor came out and talked about how Marilyn Monroe possibly knew too much about aliens.
We all know that Marilyn Monroe didn't die of an overdose.
Boop boop be doo.
He said, do you know why they killed Marilyn?
Mr. President, the late Marilyn Monroe.
And I said, well, I didn't until I got this document. It's a virtual death warrant because she was found a couple days later. 3 August 1962, a wiretap of telephone conversations between reporter Dorothy Kilgallen, who was looking into Roswell and other UFO issues, and her close friend Howard Rothberg, from wiretap of telephone conversation of Marilyn Monroe and Attorney General Bobby Kennedy. Rothberg discussed the apparent comeback of the subject with Kilgallen and the breakup with the Kennedys. This is referring to the fact that Marilyn Monroe had been having an affair with not one but both Kennedy brothers, and it was becoming conspicuous, so they broke it off. Rothberg indicated in so many words that she had secrets to tell, no doubt arising from her trysts with the President and the Attorney General. One such secret mentions the visit of the President at a secret air base for the purpose of inspecting things from outer space. Now, this is 1962. Kogan said that if the story is true, it would be a terrible embarrassment for Jack and his plans to have NASA put men on the moon.
We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard.
The subject repeatedly called the Attorney General and complained about the way she was being ignored by the President and his brother. Subject threatened to hold a press conference and would tell all. It's a tragic situation because she was an actress. She didn't understand the national security state and the viciousness of those who want to keep these sort of secrets.
So we've talked about the theory that Marilyn knew too much because she was dating both Kennedy brothers. Honestly, she was having the summer I turned pretty moment, and we're here for it for her. We would all do the same thing. JFK and Bobby Kennedy were both really hot, that's a fact. But regardless, I never really believed that the type of conspiracy that Marilyn maybe came in contact with that got her killed had to do with aliens. I just thought that theory was kind of like lame and old. Personally, I thought it was more like Illuminati vibes, governmental secrets. But I do think that this could be true because after hearing this doctor talk about it, I was like, damn. If you think about it, you're dating the president. Like, I feel like aliens low-key is going to be one of the top few things to ask about. I don't know about in the 1960s, but at least now, for sure. Alright, the last TikTok that we're going to be talking about really fucked with me and actually kind of blew my mind. And it's all about how AI companies use teddy bears in their commercials. I've never noticed this before until I saw this TikTok, but I think that this theory is true.
This is day 8 of talking about the risk of AI until people start taking it seriously, and today we're going to be talking about one of the sneaky tricks that AI labs and companies pull to make us think their technology is safe. And it's teddy bears. Teddy bears. All throughout different advertisements, promos, or capability unveilings, you can see tech companies using teddy bears to show off their new AI advancements. This pattern was initially pointed out by the creator AI Playbooks, but I wanted to bring it to your guys' attention too because it's pretty sinister, and once you see it, you really can't unsee it. This is Google in 2022 showing off their Imagen video model. On the website, more teddy bear videos. Teddy bear running through New York City. Here they are again in 2023 using a teddy bear when showing off their DreamX model. This is Meta showing off their Make a Video AI in 2022. AI image generator model in 2023. By the way, this model was trained on public Instagram and Facebook posts. Here's them showing a teddy bear again when advertising the video model. These photos were used for OpenAI's DALL-E 2 image generating model and when showing off the capabilities on the website. This is what was displayed on the loading screen while you were waiting for your AI image to generate. And it even appears in research papers like this one from Japan, where they were using machine learning diffusion models to read human brain activity and return specific images of what they were seeing. Here you can see it, teddy bear is the first example. And Apple even used it when they were unveiling their new Apple Intelligence features for iOS. It's well known that visual images and inputs, especially of an emotional or nostalgic quality, can affect your decision-making, feelings, or levels of comfort. And they know consumers feel wary about this technology, rightfully so, and how quickly it's advancing, and how much they're trying to integrate it into everything we use and shove it down our throats. But it's pretty sinister that they have to tap into these subversive psychological tricks in order to make it not more appealing to the user, but at least less threatening or worrisome. I mean, they're blatantly trying to trick us.
So it's essentially the idea that these companies basically use like childhood elements like a teddy bear and innocent things to promote like their product, but also to kind of show that you don't need to be scared of AI. Like, what kind of scary risk factors of, like, you know, AI stealing everyone's jobs, AI literally taking over the world, etc. What, like, why would that be scary when it's just hidden behind a little image with, like, a fucking teddy bear? Like, of course it's this. I think this is such a true theory. I mean, the AI that we have had access to so far, like Siri and Alexa and stuff, like, those things are very, like, non-creepy, sweet. They have feminine voices usually. And I do think that it is to evoke a positive feeling in response to AI, because in the future and as time goes on, it's just becoming more ingrained in our lives. I also think that it's used as a strategy to kind of, like, numb the public perception of AI, because I feel like the public sees AI as, like, you know, it's kind of scary. It's dehumanizing. And essentially, it can take a lot of people's jobs. And I think that scares people. So having it like all cute, packaged up on a little bow with a little teddy bear attached to it makes so much sense, because it's just naturally like the way marketing works. You're gonna be less scared of it. And bitch, I don't know, it's fucked up. It's really fucked up because I am scared of AI. Now, do I use it literally every day? Yes, I do. All right, the last area I want to talk about is this TikTok I saw talking about how Shane Dawson predicted some crazy shit with AI, and honestly, it was really creepy.
Shane Dawson is a lot of things, but one thing Shane Dawson said a long time ago that stuck to me to this day, that is actually kind of coming true, is when he used to do his conspiracy theory videos, right? He said in that video, the government or Illuminati, they're going to start becoming so advanced. They will have tools and stuff to blackmail certain celebrities if they don't comply with their rules or do what they're told to say. What he meant was they could literally take a voice of you. Like, they could literally take me talking right now. They could take my voice and basically make this whole confession of me, a confession of something I've never said, admitting to a crime I never did, saying I done X, Y, and Z and I never did, and releasing it to the public to create seed of doubt, because they know the public is not going to fact check, double check, they're just going to take it as face value. And if you don't want the information out there, you got to play by our rules. And it's kind of weird how we're seeing that literally coming to fruition with the AI advancement. I know some of y'all think I be reaching, but it's kind of hard not to when everything is literally playing out how they said back in like 2015, 2016. Let me give you an example. This is an AI edited clip that's making its rounds on social media right now.
I think Ariana is better than Selena. Are you crazy? Selena is an it girl. Her beauty brand, Rare Beauty, is way more successful. She was on Disney. She has more followers on Instagram. What about streams?
They literally took their voices and made it off of AI. Some of you have already stopped the video to make your comment. That doesn't even sound real. That sounds so choppy. Get a job. No one would ever believe that. And to those type of people, it's no arguing with. For the people that's still here at this point in the video that can reason, I know that clip was kind of choppy, but that's just a cheap version. Let's look at a version where it transitioned just a bit smoother.
Speaking of the VMAs, Taylor snatched all the awards, and Nicki Minaj outsold Scratch Off.
Now that version, it could be dressed up a little bit more. Fix the position of the heads and tweak the tone a little bit. Nobody's gonna bat an eye. That's literally how dangerous and doomed of a society we're becoming. And that's kind of what Shane was saying before he got canceled.
So we've definitely heard and seen tons of AI videos of celebrities with, you know, you can hear their actual voice talking and saying whatever you want them to say. And also videos of these AI celebrities that look so fucking real. I always thought it was strange, but I never thought about it in the sense that they are trying to use that to, or that they could use that to blackmail somebody. But that's fucking scary. Like, you could get somebody, like, you can use AI to make a celebrity say something horrible. It will, and people would probably believe that it was real, and that's fucking fucked up. I do not, AI in that sense honestly really creeps me out, because also I feel like they're gonna do, I mean, it's gonna be cool, but it'll be scary, and I do feel like this will be like one of the first things that they do with this kind of AI technology. And honestly, low-key, Kanye West kind of did do this for Kim Kardashian. He had, I don't know if it was AI or if he had an actor, I don't know how the fuck he did it, but he had like her late father like kind of like hologrammed, but he was like talking in the present, so it was obviously not recording of what her dad said, but it was in his voice. So like I think he used AI to do that.
Grown up, you look beautiful, just like when you were a little girl. I watch over you and your sisters and brother and the kids every day. Sometimes I drop hints that I'm around. I am so proud of the woman that you've become, Kimberly, and all that you've accomplished. All of your hard work and all the businesses you have built are incredible. But most impressive is your commitment to become a lawyer and carry on my legacy. It's a long and a hard road, but it's worth it.
Which is kind of crazy because I felt like that technology is new. But that was obviously before Kim and Kanye got divorced. I don't know. Regardless, I think what would be cool is like touring dead celebrities. It's kind of scary and fucked up because they're going to make a lot of money on people who are no longer alive. But wouldn't you love to see like an Amy Winehouse hologram tour? Like, it's AI. So like, it's like new, as in new music, new, her covering songs that didn't exist until after she died. Her interacting with the audience, even though it's not real. It's kind of fucking creepy, but it's also low-key cool. And I don't know. At some point, are we all going to become digital? At some point, will people even miss their loved ones anymore if they can have AI versions of them forever. I hate that. I can't keep thinking about this. All right, that is it for today's video. If you guys liked it, please give it a big thumbs up. Let me know in the comments below any thoughts on these TikTok conspiracy theories. And if you have any TikTok theories, tag me in them. But that is it. Make sure you follow me on Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram, and subscribe for new videos every week. And I'll see you guys later. Bye.